This past weekend, the Golden Lions dropped a 37-3 decision to Jackson State at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. This week, UAPB would travel to Waller, Texas to take on Prairie View A&M at Waller ISD Stadium. In their last outing, Prairie View defeated Southern 47-42 at A.W. Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At this time, we asked Mr. Berry to introduce himself to the media and give opening comments about last week's contest.
Marcus Berry, starting defensive end, number 54.
All right, Mr. Barrett, talk about last week's contest playing Jackson State, then talk a little bit about playing Prairie View this weekend.
Man, coming off a loss to Jackson, it was hard. But, we continue to fight, continue to work, continue to prepare for Prairie View this weekend, and leave it at that.
All right, we'll have opening comments from our top dog himself, head coach Monty Coleman.
Thank you, Ronnie. I want to thank Ms. Nikki again for hosting our press conference. We enjoy coming every week. Very disappointing season for us up to now. Sound like a broken record each week. The guys are giving the effort that we need. Unfortunately for us, the big plays hindered us last week in winning the football game. I thought we came in with a great game plan. Jackson State's a very good football team. They made some plays, and we wasn't able to make the plays. As far as what we're preparing for, we've got a 4-game schedule left, and I had a lengthy meeting with the team and coaches yesterday. And with that meeting, the thing that we putting in place, or the thing that we're saying is there's no quit. We're going to play hard. We can't make the championship game at this point, but the thing that we won't do, we won't give up. We're going to continue to fight hard. We'll continue to work hard as coaches. We'll continue to game plan. We'll continue to game plan and do the things necessary to go out and win this game against Prairie View. Prairie View is a very good football team, very well coached. They have a young coach who was the offensive coordinator from Alcorn last year. They've put up lots of points on offense, but they've also given up lots of points on defense. So the thing that we've got to do is just stay within ourselves. And the one thing that stays consistent is play our type football. It's not going to be predicated on what Prairie View does, but it's going to be predicated on how we play. And that's what I've conveyed to the players and to the coaches. So we're not giving up by no stretch of the imagination. We're going to continue to fight, continue to go and play hard, and we will take our team down and see if we can, according to the media, upset Prairie View this weekend. But it should be a good football game. There will be some changes on both offense and defense, some major changes, and we'll see how some of the young guys play. So we're excited about going down to play Prairie View this weekend, and excited about the next 4 football games.
All right, at this time, we open up for Q&A. Mr. Sullivan from the Pine Bluff Commercial.
Nick Sullivan. First of all, obviously you teased in a little bit there with the changes coming, so I have to see if you'll expand at all upon that. And you mentioned some young guys maybe. So with the changes in mind, how much of the season is obviously still focused on getting DeMarcus and these seniors some wins going out, but also building for future years? How do you kind of balance that?
It's not a balance. The main focus is winning these next 4 football games for the seniors to go out on a winning note, and for us also to come back on a winning note next season. So that's the number one objective still, is to win football games. As far as changes, we will allow some young guys to play and start this particular weekend. But by no means are we saying we're giving up and we're going to start trying to get ready for next year. We're just trying to put the best personnel in at this time. And if some of them are young, due to injuries, we may play some. We're also, getting them ready, getting some playing time to get the experience. But the number one objective is to win the next 4 football games, and more specifically, to win this one. We're taking it one game at a time, and this week, of course, is Prairie View.
All right, and obviously, like you said, one game at a time. But looking at it, the next 3 games is about as tough a stretch as you're going to play. I mean, 3 teams that I think ranked top 7 or so in the country. So with that in mind, specifically Prairie View, I guess what has to happen this week for you all to be able to hang with those guys?
And I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, Nick. We looked at the schedule from the very beginning, not knowing, but we said this stretch would be competitive. Now, I think we can compete with each of the teams. I think we can win football games. It's not always predicated on who the team we're playing, it's what we do. Even though we're a young football team and we're young at a position that the other teams that we're going to play aren't young at, and that's at quarterback. And not throwing anybody under the bus, not blaming anybody. That's where we've had some difficulties. We've had some difficulties at quarterback because we are young with guys that don't have the experience. And then you compile some of the other positions on offense, defense, and special teams with the young guys. And now you've got a very young football team, which we have. In order for us to win these next football games, we can't just look at these guys as being Goliath and us being David. We've got to roll up our sleeves, get our lunch pails like a blue-collar worker, and come to work. And if we can do that, we're a good football team. I've said that from the very beginning. I've told our team that we're a very good football team. The things that's hindered us this year has been us. We played against Texas Southern, had a chance to win that football game. Probably even should have won it. We played against Alabama A&M, same difference. The game that sticks out is the Alcorn game, which, we didn't play very well. But in all the other conference games, including Jackson State, I think we could have won those football games if, and I'll leave that if open, but if we would have played better and just stuck to the things that we do and played our type football like we played against South Carolina State, that was a hard-fought football game. The Morehouse game, we go into overtime, 3 overtimes in that. That's the team that I'm accustomed to, and that's what we're not doing right now. Yeah, we've got a few boo-boos, guys got injuries and stuff, but overall, we just got to get back to what we did those first couple of football games, and we'll be fine against these other opponents.
All right, and DeMarcus, as one of the senior leaders, obviously, on this team, what's been kind of your message to the guys, and what's kind of, you feel like, the overall attitude in the locker room right now?
I mean, for my teammates looking at me as a leader, I just encourage them to keep fighting, no matter how many losses we have, how many wins we have, we just keep fighting, never give up. That's all our coaches really just tell us. Just keep fighting, working hard, and we're going to be all right.
All right, and Coach, going back to the Jackson game for a little bit, for those who weren't there, they'll look at the score, I think 37-3, and think it might be a little strange that you said basically that you felt like you all could have won that game, or So what specifically in that game happened that that made you feel like, first of all, that you all could have potentially won that game, and what happened that didn't allow that to happen?
From a defensive perspective, they scored how many points? 27, 30, I don't know what the score was, but we had big plays against us. It wasn't necessarily the call. I remember one play specifically, I think it was a 43-yard touchdown run. We called a blitz, or I called a blitz on that play. When we called the blitz, every gap is covered. He hits it, nobody touches him, he goes through one of the gaps. So I'm on the sideline, I'm scratching my head and a little concerned what could have happened. We look at the film, and one of our players, instead of taking his gap, he took another person's gap. So you know where the back hit? His gap. So that's a touchdown. Big play on the I think the second, third play. They throw a pass over. The safety goes over to help somebody that he shouldn't, and he leaves his position, and they throw a touchdown. if he stays in his position where he should have been, maybe a completion, maybe not a completion, but surely not a touchdown. So little things like that we're giving. We're young, and we're giving opponents opportunities where we've got, in most cases, the right plays called, but it's hard to play good football teams from behind. And we went in at halftime, I think it was 27-0. So we've got to come back out. And the guys came back out second half and actually played a pretty good defensive game. Couldn't get the offense clicking the way we wanted to. Couldn't really run the football like we really wanted to. Take my hat off to Jackson State, not criticizing them at all. They had a good game plan. And, they played well, but there were opportunities for us. We just didn't capitalize on the opportunities.
All right, and going to the offense for a little bit there. What was kind of the issue with that they weren't able to sustain drives? Was it the running game not getting going? I know that I think Nolan was actually the leading rusher, I think, with like 20-something yards. Or was it the passing game not being able to get clicking, or what was kind of the main struggle for them?
Well, Nick, if I can use my opening statement again, we're young at a position that most teams in the SWAC right now are not. And, unfortunately, that position, being quarterback, is a key ingredient on the offensive side of the ball. Mr. Soros and Nolan, he didn't play very well in this particular football game. There were some opportunities that he missed, and I just have to credit it to youth. He started the last two football games, even though he played some and some of the others. But this is his second start. So, Jackson State had a large crowd of people. It was their homecoming. The hype, I think a little of the hype kind of got to him, to be honest with you. And therefore, he didn't play very well. So there were opportunities. It wasn't so much as what Jackson did as what we did. We just didn't capitalize. And, we're rebounding this week, and we'll see how everything goes.
All right. And so with what you've been saying about the changes and everything, should we expect to see Marcus then on Saturday, or are you not willing to divulge that right now, or?
We'll just wait and see.
Okay.
I may be coming out of retirement. That's all right. I'm letting it out of the bag.
Right. Okay.
I'm coming out of retirement.
That was the thing you were kind of keeping under wraps there.
That's
okay.
Right. That's big news. That's not big news.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
No.
I'm only 57. I think I can do it.
Let's say we're just trying to figure out why it took you this long to finally put it.
I got a pep talk from Bubba Pettigrew. And,
okay.
That got me inspired.
All right, and DeMarcus, last thing for you. Obviously, as the season's gone on, last couple games, well, I guess 2 out of the last 3 have been tough games. What have you tried to do personally to try and stay positive and keep yourself motivated here as your senior year winds down?
Just really continue to work. Don't give up. Don't quit. Obviously things not going in our favor, but one thing coaches always tell us, just continue to play, continue to fight, and just do what we coach to do, and just play our game. Really.
Nick, sometimes, it may sound like a cliche, but sometimes you can try to do too much, especially in a team concept. You can try to do too much. A long time ago, and this isn't original from me, but coaches used to tell us, do your job first before you try to help your teammate. When you're going through a little whirlwind like we are right now, sometimes the players try to do just a little bit too much. And when they do that, just in the case of, we call the blitz and he jumps out of his gap, and that's where they hit it at for a touchdown. And if, just maybe, I don't know, I can't say, but if he stays in this gap, it's a no-gainer instead of it's a 43-yard touchdown run. So sometimes, when you're going through, you try to do just a little bit too much. And all I'm asking them to do is just do your job first. And if they do that, then, we'll see if these teams are that much better than we are, which I really don't believe so. And, I'll say you know, and this is public. You know, we're working at a deficiency. And in 2000, I'm talking about from a scholarship standpoint, and from 2012, it's starting to catch up with us. We've got to get there, and I take my hat off to Mr. Hardy, our athletic director, Ms. Elise Wells-Kilbert, and also the Chancellor Alexander, and the efforts that they're doing to get us up to speed with the scholarships so that we can be more competitive on the field. So it's coming. We're by no means, you heard it from Mr. Barry and myself, by no means are we going to give up this season or any other season. We're going to continue to fight and try to go out with a winning 4-game span.
All right, thank you very much.
Are there any more questions for Coach or Mr. Barry? All right, once again, we'd like to thank you for coming out and having lunch with us. Also, go to Lion fans. Next home match for your UAPB volleyball team will be on Monday, November 2nd against Prairie View A&M in a 7 p.m. start at the H.O. Clemens Arena. So come on out and cheer your Lady Lions on to victory. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget basketball season is just around the corner with your Lady Lions of the Hardwood taking on Talladega College on Friday, November 20th in a 6 p.m. start at the H.O. Clemens Arena. For the H.O. Clemens Arena. For more information, contact the UAPB ticket office at 870-575-8601 as we look forward to seeing you there to cheer your Lady Lions on to victory. All right, let's give Miss Nikki and RJ's Bar and Grill a round of applause for letting us come out today. Once again, thank you for coming out and having lunch with us. Until we meet again, keep those Twitter alerts and emails coming in, and have a wonderful Golden Lion Day.